Good afternoon, everyone. What God can do once, God can do it again. What God can do once, God can do it again. In Matthew's gospel, Matthew shares two stories of the disciples caught in the storm. In Matthew chapter 8, verses 23 through 27 is the first storm. And Jesus is in the boat with the disciples. He's asleep. He wakes up. He's with them. He gives them his presence. And the storm ceases. The wind and the waves behave. That's the first storm. The second storm is Matthew chapter 14. In chapter 14, the disciples are in the boat by themselves. Jesus goes to the mountain and prays. When the disciples enter the boat, is night. When Jesus goes and sees about them, is dawn, a span of 6 hours. He allows the disciples to struggle in the storm for 6 hours. Jesus leaves the mountain, walks on water, gets in the boat, and the boat ceases. The storm ceases. The wind and the waves behave. That's the second storm. Jesus, in the first storm, is with them and gives them his presence. Storm ceases. Then he says, "Oh, ye of little faith." Second storm, the disciples are by themselves. Jesus is watching and he prays for them. Lets them struggle for 6 hours, then goes and sees about them and gets in the boat, and the storm ceases and the waves and the wind behave. And some scholars contend the reason that Jesus allowed them to struggle in the storm for 6 hours in the second storm was to see if they would learn the lessons from the first storm. And the lesson from the first storm was this: you got somebody on your side who has power over your storm. And so when they got to the second storm, they had forgotten. The storm made them forget who they had on their side. And the lesson was this: you got somebody on your side who has power over your storm. Jesus gave them power in the first storm. Jesus gave them power in the second storm. What God can do once, God can do it again. Right now, I find myself in my second storm in my battle with prostate cancer. In the first storm, took place in 2018. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I went through radiation, 28 days of radiation. And through radiation and God's power and your prayers, God took the cancer away in 2018. But last week I discovered my cancer has come back. And now I'm getting ready to go through chemotherapy. But I just believe what God has done once, God can do it again. I encourage all the men, please get your PSA numbers checked, because it's good to catch prostate cancer in time. If you have not gone to the doctor, please do so. To all of my brothers, all of my men, all of my friends, please, whatever you do for your sake, for your family's sake, for your friends' sake, for the folk who love you, please go to the doctor and get that PSA number and find out where it is. And so you can catch it in time if there's any indication. I'm thankful to the UAB Cancer Center and to Marcus Glover and to all of the other friends and men who have given me their testimony and sharing with me their story. So the thing about this, I'm not in this boat by myself. There are a whole lot of people out there wrestling with cancer and different types and different forms of cancer. And the power of it is we are not in this by ourselves. We're in the same boat. But the power of the narrative and the story is this: we got somebody on our side who got power over our storm. We got somebody walking with us who has power over our storm. And no matter what your cancer may be, or no matter what your heartache is, it may not be cancer. It may be a test, a trial, or a difficulty. Whatever the storm is, whatever the name of your storm, we got somebody with us who has power over our storm. So if you have overcome cancer, please share with me your testimony. If you have overcome any kind of sickness, please share with me your testimony. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear your testimony. I would love to hear your witness, because we draw strength from other people's miracles. We draw power from other people's testimony. We draw encouragement from other people's witness. We're in this boat together. And the beauty of the story in both of those storms, the storm in chapter 8 and the storm in chapter 14, we got somebody with us who has power over our storms. I thank you for your prayers. Your prayers got me through in 2018. And your prayers would get me through the day. I thank you for your support. It got me through then. It'll get me through now. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your concern. I thank you for all your emails, your texts, and your calls. I thank you for being with me in the boat and believing that whatever God has done once, God can do it again. Can I get a witness? God bless you. Peace. I'll see you on Sunday morning.